Do you want to go for a ride with Volkswagen? We'll take a look. Everybody knows Volkswagen. It's the car giant. It's based in Germany. One of its largest shareholders is the German government, or part of the German government. It has been, in its long history, a success. It's built many cars around the world. What are some of its brands? You know them. Porsche in the luxury end, Audi, very well known, Seat in Spain, but it also makes everyday Volkswagens and it sells them around the world. Very successful until the end of 2015. And what happened at the end of 2015? Let's take a look. It looks here like Volkswagen dropped off a cliff, and in effect it did. What it was doing, it was using the computers inside some of its Volkswagen diesel cars, especially in the United States, and adjusting the computers within the car to change the reporting level of the emissions. What does that mean? It meant that the cars were dirtier than it was reporting to the EPA and others in the United States. What's the consequence of that scandal? It's huge. It made the stock go more than cut in half. Let's look at it over here. Trades at about $31. Keep in mind, Volkswagen's a German company. They report in euros. This show, we work in dollars. But you've got the high up here, well over $50, almost $60. So it cut the share price in half. Is that an opportunity for you, the viewer of the investment advisor? It could very well be. What's the PE of Volkswagen? 1, 2. It's not very much. The problem with Volkswagen, and let's just get right to the heart of the matter, is we don't know on this program today the costs of the scandal involving emissions. What do we know about Volkswagen? We know it sells a lot of cars. We know that the brands are popular. We know it has worldwide appeal. It's a global brand. The whole company's worth today in dollars about $80 billion. So it's a reasonable valuation for Volkswagen if you think that Volkswagen can pay off its fines, admit its guilt in various courts or jurisdictions around the world, get back to the business of selling cars that are well made, that people want. The company can do very well. Why won't it do well? This is the downside of buying a company like Volkswagen. You have to keep this in mind if you're thinking of buying the shares. The cost structure of Volkswagen is almost double that of its competitors. Who are its competitors? Toyota, the Japanese car giant, General Motors, the United States company. They have half the number of workers per car as Volkswagen does. So Volkswagen is very labor intensive. It means that the costs of making these cars, especially when you measure them in euros, can only go up. Pensions and workers' compensation and all the other things that go with having a large workforce. It's good for German employment. It may not be good for the stock. So what you have to keep in mind is you're thinking of saying, should I own Volkswagen? You might own a car and not own the stock. You might own the stock and not own one of the cars. If you want to own the stock, keep in mind, relatively cheap. You don't know the downside on the litigation when it comes to the emissions scandal. At the same time, as a relative value, as a long-term hold, it could be quite interesting. It's all the time we have for this week on The Investment Advisor. I'm your host, Matthew Stevenson, in partnership with Dukascopy TV. Remember, money can take care of you. It cannot take care of itself.